What is up, everybody? Moses here, bringing another little bit of iteration on the Ice Crusher. So yeah, here goes. What I did was I unspec'd the Winter Spirit nodes, and I removed the physical converted to cold from the gloves, and I removed the attack speed gem from the main setup, and instead I picked up the attack speed nodes over here with the 3 points that I unspec'd for Winter Spirit. This entire thing was so that I could get physical to lightning gem socketed in the main setup. Alright? And now with physical to lightning, we have 50% cold conversion from the gem and 50% converted to lightning from physical to lightning, as well as physical as extra. That's what the gem gives us, right? And this allows me to use Inpulsas because this is a crit build, and as mentioned, my crit chance with the staff is with power charges is going to be 71.4 chance to crit. With diamond flask, that's going to mean that we're going to be critting pretty much all the time. And what I thought was just to kind of like try and see if Impulsa would fit this build, to get better clear for the legions and in general for mapping. And also, I'm looking into another idea that I have later on for a similar build that I will use this kind of thing, except it's not going to be with Ice Crash, it's going to be with Glacial Hammer. So basically, the idea is these rings right here, Barracks Pass, Barracks Grip. There's another Barracks Rip ring. It's called Barrack Respite. Right here. Let me bring it up. So Barracks Respite or Respite is a ring that is a Nemesis ring. It's the third in the set, and the combination of the three, if you vendor all three rings, Barracks Grip, Pass, and Respite, is you get the Taming. Now, the Taming is an insanely powerful ring because this ring gives the chance to freeze, shock, and ignite, 30% increased elemental damage, 30% increased elemental damage with attack skills, and 20% elemental damage with hits and ailments per freeze, shock, and ignite on an enemy. So essentially, if you were to say shock, freeze, and ignite an enemy, you would get 60% increased damage with hits and ailments. You would get 30 and 30. That's 60 more. That's 120% increased elemental damage onto that enemy, and that's huge. That's basically the equivalent of 12 skill points increased elemental damage. So that's essentially what this ring gives us. Okay? But to get it, I need Barracks Respite, and to get that, the only way to get it is to find it in a divination card called Heterochromia. Uh, and Heterochromia, oops, is a divination card that only exists in the estuary and glacier. So I decided to do what I did a long time ago in um, it was Incursion League that I played the Soul Self Found as well, by the way, and yeah, it's a two-card set, right? You only need two. The problem is that you're always kind of going to get Barracks Pass. Sometimes you'll get Barracks Grip. Every once in a while, called the Brotherhood. Barracks Respite is the rarest, and it's incredibly rare. I remember farming it for about 2 weeks. I remember getting about 30 or 40 cards and turning in, and didn't get the third one, the Barracks Respite. So just so I've been grinding in the SSF and trying to get this previously, but we still have 2 more months for this league. And what I did was instead of Elder Peer, I removed that. Now it's back to tier 3, Instead of that, I just made Estuary Elder tier 16 so I can farm the tier 16 maps, and I could get a chance of getting these divination cards. So right now, basically what I've been doing is yeah, just depleting just all the tier 16 peers that I had. I had about 30. Now I have, well, 8 more left. All the tier 16s that I had, I've just been using them up and creating a pool of hey, that's, wow, that's an amazing jewel. Look at that. Attack speed, life, and increased damage if you've killed recently. Forget about the bows. This is an amazing jewel. Um, wait, I can't use it because the inventory. Wow, that's actually a pretty solid jewel. I only lose 40, but I get like 80 flat life here, and I get 5 attack speed. Attack speed feels really good. And the flat elemental damage here, I mean, as nice as it is, I'm gonna use it. Increased damage if you've killed recently is insane good. Even though it rolled minimum, I don't have too many divines to use it up right now. But yeah, attack speed rolled maximum 15 attack speed if you've killed, 15 damage if you've killed recently is pretty strong. I'm just gonna keep it right there as it is. New jewel, feels good. Video upgrade. So, now that you know everything that I told you, then you kind of like can. So, okay, so we have this taming ring with 120% increased elemental damage, right? If you have shock, ignite, and freeze or chill on an enemy, right? Ailments, 3 ailments. You combo that with a skill like Glacial Hammer that converts to cold, physical to lightning, gem, you got cold, you got lightning, and then you combo that with Nebulock, which is a scepter. We're going back to the wiki. Wiki is our best friend. It is a scepter that gives us 30 to 40% of physical attack damage as extra fire damage, right? You combine that with Nebulock, and if you make it a crit build, like this is a crit build, right? And you get into high crit numbers, 65% or so, with Diamond Flask, that means you'll be critting pretty much all the time. If you're dual wielding this, you pretty much guarantee, freeze, shock, ignite, and on pretty much every enemy when you're critting, right? And then you get 120%, and also you combo that with something that I don't need to give you the wiki for because I actually found, which is Yoke of Suffering, and all of a sudden you have a pretty nice idea for a build, especially if you're using Inpulsas, right? You see where all of this is going. So using Inpulsa, you got a bunch of crit, bunch of ailments, bunch of shock. Everything explodes with Glacial Hammer. That's basically the idea of my next build. So right now I'm basically missing the taming. We're gonna farm that. Beric's Respite. We need the third one, and then we're gonna get 1 ring. Getting 2 rings is like obviously ideal, but kind of impossible. Who knows? Maybe we get incredibly lucky. All I need is just the 1 and get a solid ring with life resist on the other one, some good attack speed, maybe a steel ring or an opal, and yeah, Yoke of Suffering, and of course we need Nebulock. Now I've been farming 27 elders. Nebulock is a weapon that you can get off of one of the guardians, and so far I haven't been able to get it. So yeah, it's a random drop off one of the guardians. As you see, I got 1 Yoke of Suffering, which is incredibly rare and quite surprising. I got 2 Augears, which is the low tier. Where is it? Yeah, I got Bell Timber Blade and Grelwood Shank, which is another drop from the. I got Volcanus. those are all drops from Elder Guardians, right? When you kill them, that's what they can drop. And I also got Augear. There they are. So I don't know. Those are pretty bad weapons, though, right? They don't really give too much, and you can't really make a good build with these things. So probably not going to be happening. But yeah, what we need is Nebulok. Those are incredible maces, and I feel that Glacial Hammer build would be very, very good with that. Alright, so enough with that. I did want to start the video to tell you about the build idea, but also less area of effect rather than not. But also, I wanted I wanted to show you what the explosions look like with the Inpulsas. I'm not a big fan of Inpulsa, never was a slave to the whole, speed farming meta. But for legions, the Inpulsa actually does provide quite a lot of clear, and feels really nice when you just pop everything, when the entire pack kind of like pops immediately, as you can see here. Feel the crunch. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a whole lot of fun. So there you go. That's how the build looks like with Inpulsa. I do lose about 500 life. My goal, I guess, was to try it out, kind of like show you guys for the sake of science, even though it cost me a little bit of, unintended jewelers, divines, and all sorts of chromes. But yeah, for the sake of science, to see how that will work in a build with Inpulsa, because it's kind of an idea that I had, and I wanted to try and incorporate it in a future build, as I mentioned, and also wanted to see how that will work with Legion, the Pact, with Legions in. That's an incredibly rare card, by the way. I didn't know it can drop here. Pledge of Hands was buffed, by the way, in the recent patch. Map. Okay. They usually drop here. Not that I need. So yeah, right now I've been. I had about 30 of these. Yeah, see, they just all kind of like cascade explode, and that feels really nice. Of course, with something like Elemental Proliferation or Shock would proliferate, and explosions will cascade a bit more with things like Herald skills that I'm not using any Herald for this build at the moment. Things would look and feel better. But just to give you kind of like the idea of how this will go, and this of course is a tier 16. This character just like destroys everything. Feels pretty amazing actually. And there is the Legion, so let's blow it up. Thing about this Legion, that in this particular map it's like not very ideal. I'm hoping I will be able to give you guys some better examples of better Legion fights, since in the Estuary map it will show much better. It's way more open map. You don't have all these piles of, I don't even know what these things are, that are in fact blocking you from leap slamming properly and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was a typical Legion fight with the Inpulsa, and I thought I would want to show. I thought I'd show you. Also, I kind of wanted that opportunity to talk a little bit about Soul Self-Found and how awesome it actually is. In terms of like endgame gear, I got some pretty GG gear. It's not, people sometimes come to the stream and say, wow, you're so lucky to have this gear in Soul Self-Found. Wow. It's not about luck. It's about, when you do something over and over and over again, it stops being luck. You know what I mean? I played the Flashback League. You can check out my Divine Ire Guardian build in Flashback. It was Soul Self-Found. I got rank 7. Guardian in that league. It was incredible. I had insane gear. In the end, I played Incursion League about a year ago. So fun. I had incredible gear. I made insane builds. You can check out my previous 1 year ago videos from so fun Incursion. You can see for yourself. I'm able to do everything that I want. Multi-mod this just yesterday. I spent 5 exalted orbs on multi-modding this, and we went down to 0 annulments, and since then I found 2 annulments. Now we have 0 exalts, but we have about 300 chaos, hundreds of um, sextants, we got hundreds of alchemies, thousands. I just spent 1,500 fusings to link this, and I had, I don't know, about 2,000 jewelers. I spent those on all sorts of other things as well. About 1,000 cartographer chisels. Um, I got everything that I would need. Like, again, we're now building the estuary map pool. We had 30 piers, and now we have 20 estuaries, and we're going to have more. There's delve happening. I got a bunch of sulfite, and there's a city here that we can farm, and there's going to be more piers. This is area level 83 as always. So I'm just here to say you can really do everything in so fun, but it's just a matter of whether you have the time for it. And if you have the time, if you're consistent, if you play, leagues last 3 months, you know, and throughout these 3 months, there's a lot you could do. I mean, this is my third character. Tectonic Slam was a blast. The first 2 weeks I played with the miner, opening up the atlas, doing all the things that I needed to kind of like prepare myself for basically a factory of melee builds. And we started off with the um, Tectonic Slam, and now we've been doing this. It's been a blast. And the Glacial Hammer idea, I just need to farm some more elders, get that nebula to drop, and basically we're ready. And taming, well, even if I don't get taming, I mean, I got this. Check this out. This is a Shaper's. This is a Shaper's um, steel ring, right? You can go right now. I level 83. Go right now to PoE.trade. If you're watching this video like close to release, check out how much an Elder ring, sorry, a Shaper's steel ring is worth. I level 83. As I'm told, there are about 13 exalts right now. So you play, stuff drops. You, of course, if you didn't know, you need Shaper's steel ring so that you combo it with Mark of the Elder, which is a drop from Uber Elder. We'll get there. This character is going to destroy Uber Elder. There's going to be plenty more videos for this character, or at least Uber Elder kill. And if there's anything new, I will let you guys know. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All I'm saying is, give Soul Self-Found the chance, and don't be a slave to the Cyclone Slayer meta. Ice Crash is incredible, and I'm sure if you pick it up, even make a similar character, not exactly the same as mine, you'll do just great. And this is in Soul Self-Found setting. In Trade League, like, you could have so many more things, and just create an incredible character that doesn't have to be what everyone else is playing. Alright, so that's Path of Exile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next one.